You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
I am back. Rodriguez for Black and White Sports 2. Well, we're going to talk about Lamar Jackson. I had a video coming on Lamar anyway. And this, luckily, I kind of held off, knowing that this evening was going to be franchise tag time. And deadlines were going to come. And deadlines have came now. And we've got a much better idea of where. And before we get over to this main article I was going to look at, we've got breaking news. And I do mean breaking news involving the Lamar Jackson Ravens saga. The Ravens sent notice to the NFLPA. They have placed the $32.41 million non-exclusive franchise tag on quarterback Lamar Jackson. This is the important part, folks. He is now allowed to negotiate with other teams, but Ravens have the right to match any offer sheet he signs or take 2 first-round picks for him in return. If you can get 2 first, personally speaking, I would go ahead and take it. Now, let's scroll down a little bit to Dov Keeneman. Report, the Falcons have, quote, very real interest in trading for Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson, so told Matt Lombardo, NFL. The Lamar Jackson conversation between Ravens and Falcons progressed tremendously at Indianapolis. Okay, so that goes back to what we were talking about earlier about why I like the NFL scouting combine. It's because conversations start, doors open towards potential moves that can be made either via free agency and or trade or all the above between 2 teams. So the Ravens and the Falcons already started talking trade involving Lamar Jackson. And I had a strange feeling that was coming. And I'm going to tell you why. Let's get to this. And let me make sure I just get my screen switched back here. Okay, this was part of the same video that Rich Eisen did where he dropped the Tom Brady news that I did a video on earlier. On the eve, and this is a Bleacher Report, on the eve of the NFL's franchise tag deadline, things are supposedly not going too well between Lamar Jackson and the Ravens in their contract negotiations, according to Rich Eisen. During a segment of the Rich Eisen Show on Monday, he went over the top 5 rumors he heard while he was in Indianapolis for the NFL Combine this past weekend. He also stated that per reports, Baltimore general manager Eric DeCosta visited Jackson in South Florida, and the 2 sides were not able to finish a deal. And this is the part, and we'll listen to a little video here. It's bad between the Ravens and Lamar Jackson. I kept making videos. I kept telling Ravens fans, they were getting mad at me. And I was like, look, this has broke down because there's a real feeling, and I heard Boomer Esiason say it this morning. The Ravens believe Lamar Jackson, and there are people that believe Lamar Jackson quit on the Ravens.
Long down the road in trading this first-round draft choice. Number 3 on the list requires no setup. My spidey sense has been going off, and I'm telling you, I can't even say multiple people told me this. Number 3, on the rumors I heard at the Combine, it is not pretty between Lamar and the Ravens. It is not pretty between the 2 of them. And there's franchise tags, as you all know, coming up. You know, it's right around the corner tomorrow. Apparently, according to multiple reports, Eric DeCosta of the Baltimore Ravens visited Lamar in South Florida, in Miami. Nothing's been hammered out just yet. So that's number 3 on this list right here of top rumors that I heard.
Okay, so nothing happened there. Okay, so they have put the non-exclusive franchise tag on him. keep in mind, he is still wanting that Deshaun Watson contract. He wants that fully guaranteed contract. And it should be noted, and I hadn't even thought about this in all of the equation, but Arthur Blank was in on Deshaun Watson. Okay? It was the Dolphins for a long time. The Dolphins led the pack for Deshaun. The Falcons jumped in. The Atlanta Falcons jumped in. Carolina Panthers. Cleveland Browns. Well, it was known that Deshaun wanted a fully guaranteed contract, and it didn't look like anybody was going to give it to him, okay? And it was kind of the thing that swung the pendulum in the direction of the Cleveland Browns. Okay? He had said, the Browns are off my list, and then they swung around with that fully guaranteed offer, and it clinched the deal. Now, regardless of what you think about Lamar Jackson, personally speaking, I believe he's a better quarterback than Deshaun Watson. Okay? Deshaun's a better pure thrower. Lamar's a better runner. Okay? I also believe, from a character standpoint, all right, and I'm talking about off the field, obviously, from what we know, and we covered Deshaun Watson a lot, especially on the main channel, Lamar's character is higher off the field than Deshaun Watson, right? Doesn't have those question marks. Now, there's also a feeling, and this is something a lot of people have been afraid to bring up. Chris Sims, to his credit, brought it up, but he just come out and said a black quarterback in Atlanta is going to be a massive, massive financial and business explosion and success for the Falcons. Okay? Because Atlanta is predominantly black. A large portion of the Falcons fan base is black. And then they land a black quarterback. Right, wrong, or indifferent, Chris Sims is not wrong about that. Okay? He's not. It's one of the reasons they were chasing Deshaun Watson to begin with. There's true financial gain. Okay? So, if the Falcons were to go ahead and decide they want to give Lamar a guaranteed contract, which even the Falcons, even with what Deshaun Watson got, I still wonder if the Falcons would agree to do it. Well, maybe they would, because of some of the side financial perks that are going to come out of it. Let me just pull up where the Falcons are. Okay. The Falcons have the number 8th pick in the draft. So they would have to give them 2 first-round picks. They can give them the number 8 and whatever happens for next year. Okay? And look, all of a sudden, the NFC South, if the Falcons were to land Lamar Jackson and he's healthy, the NFC South all of a sudden came down to 2 teams, depending on what Carolina does and Tampa Bay does. Either one of them could land a Jimmy Garoppolo. But clearly, yesterday, the Saints and Derek Carr shot themselves to the top of the division, but Lamar Jackson and the Falcons certainly shoot themselves up to second place, maybe tied for first, but you get my point. They're far and away the 2 best quarterbacks in the division all of a sudden, right? And not to mention, we're not talking about the fact that, that could kind of sway the AFC too. It takes one of the big quarterbacks out of the AFC. Word has it, he probably is not going to the Jets. Okay? Also, on a side note, Jets officials are flying to meet with Aaron Rodgers right now. That probably should be its own video, but That's just a side note. I'll probably do a video if something happens. You know what I'm saying? Tell me what you think. Black and White Sports 2 supporters, Lamar Jackson, non-exclusive franchise tag is officially a thing. And the Falcons and the Ravens negotiating a possible deal for Lamar Jackson is also a thing. Peace. I'm out. Till next time. Black and White Network supporters, make sure you go over and check out the Black and White Network merchandise store. 25% off USA First. 25% off USA First. Go now.